planu rasta i vidjet ćemo šta to znači za investicije za plan rasta i za integraciju sve ovo znači. Kao što znate, ovo nije pristupanje Evropskoj uniji nije samo dugoročna ambicija i vidimo da neke države u regionu imaju kao cilj da se priključe Evropskoj uniji u naredne 3 do 4 godine. Pored toga, to je narativ strateških investicija koji ima svoje implikacije za infrastrukturu, za digitalnu konektivnost, za mobilnost radne snage i za konkurentnost. I kao što možemo da vidimo
both internally across borders and externally with the European Union, it unlocks the collective potential to scale up projects, to de-risk investment, and also to present a unified front to the global capital. In our panel today, we are going to explore the regional integration and its potential to transform from policy objectives into business case. What are the conditions under which countries in the Western Balkans can become attractive, investable markets, rather than just reform areas that we have been seeing over year and year. And how do these common frameworks, harmonized regulation and shared access to the EU market amplify the return on investment? Moreover, how do young economies, how low labor cost advantages and burgeoning digital ecosystems and infrastructure modernization converge to attract public and private capital? We heard in the Ambassador Mort intervention that currently the region stands at 50% of the EU average in infrastructure investment. So we are going to explore to see how this can be changed in the next years. We are also going to examine how the region can move from disparate national stories towards a shared investment corridor. And for me, this shared investment corridor is really a vehicle for the region to really move towards its not just membership in the European Union, as we have heard, but also towards reaching higher level of preparedness and standards as the EU has. Finally, we place the accession process itself at the heart of this discussion. The EU path is not just obligations and reforms, as we could hear sometimes in the public. It's also about credibility, alignment with global standards, and the prospect of larger funding pools. When investment is framed not in isolation, also country by country, but also within the context of integration and accession,
investicijama u kontekstu integracijama, taj profil rizika se menja. Gradići mostove između regiona i integrišući tržišta, možemo da napravimo dobre prilike za investitore i da ostvarimo dobar profit za različite društva. Kao što je ambasador Gori već rekao, proces proširenja nije samo reforma i ekonomija, već smo vidjeli da je konflikt u Ukrajini ima dosta uticaja na evropsko tržište. Današnje debate će se fokusirati na intersekcije između reforme politike i investicija. Nama će pomoći u debati u ovom timu govornici koji odlično predstavljaju sve ove teme, pre svega tim Lardner, regionalni direktor za UNOPS-a za Evropu i centralnu Aziju, koji ima puno iskustva na teritoriju od Somalije do Ukrajine. On će nam pomoći da razumemo kako internacionalni partneri kao UNOPS mogu da pomognu u
Damien Sorrell, head of the European Investment Bank's regional hub for the Western Balkans, leading EIB operations that connect finance, innovation and integration. Damien's experience in development finance gives him a unique perspective on how to make regional projects more bankable and aligned with European perspectives, and he will share this with us today. Ms. Biljana Braithwaite, CEO of Sustineri Partners and head of the Adria Future Summit, one of the most prominent regional voices on sustainability and responsible leadership. She will share her insights on how ESG principles, inclusion, responsible leadership can be shared across the board. And also turn green and digital transitions into real economic
kako da se zelena tranzicija
pretvori u
Mr.
Mauro Veroli, the head of cooperation in the EU delegation,
Mauro di Veroli,
to Serbia,
šef
who oversees
saradnje
EU-funded
delegacije
programs
u Srbiji,
supporting connectivity reform and the green
projektima
agenda.
u Srbiji koje
Mauro's
podržavaju
deep experience
EU
in
agendu.
DGNIR and the Western Balkans investment framework will shed light on how EU instruments are shaping the region's investment
i govorit će o tome kako
So today we are
sve
going
to
to start the
pomaže
panel with exploring three key questions, and
pejzaž
I would like you all to leave this session with the knowledge on how actually the investment can drive and accelerate EU integration, what is the causal links, what institutional reforms are needed to make projects more effective and sustainable.
Kako one može
I guess
biti
a lot of examples of how this can be done,
održivija,
and how can the Western Balkans position themselves as a credible,
Zapadni Balkan treba da se postavi kao pouzdani, jedinstveno tržište u okviru evropskog tržišta.
Big single market of the European Union. So we will start with the Tim today, and maybe Tim, to start with you, maybe you could share from your regional perspective how the developments in the Western Balkans fit into the wider European integration landscape, and how does UNOPS fit into this integration
i kako se Evropa uklapa